Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and this time we have a new line of knives from Chef Knives to Go. This is the Yahiko AUS-8 or AUS-8. It even could be possibly 8A, but that's not specified. It's the Santoku model, 180 millimeter knife. And so the core steel on this is, and it's actually a mono steel knife, so it's AUS-8 or AUS-8, possibly 8A, full stainless steel. This steel is used a lot in hunting and survival knives and some other kind of purposes, and it's known to be a tough steel. Can take some abuse. In this case, they brought the heat treat up. I'm going to guess it's not specified, but it probably is in the 58, 59, possibly 60 range, depending on how they treated it. But this steel will get very sharp, and these knives are proof. This edge on this thing is at least a 6, maybe 7. It's really sharp out of the box. And again, I don't know what the edge holding will be, but as I'm going to talk about, these knives are really good performing knives. So makes me not care about the steel, to be honest with you. So the construction is mono steel, so it's one piece of steel that's probably laser cut and then ground to shape. The weight is 176 grams or 6.2 ounces. Edge length right about 177 on the edge, or about 7 inches from the tip to the back of the heel, the chin. Overall length of almost 300 millimeters, 11 3/4 inches. The spine thickness, it's a fairly thin blade that's the same thickness throughout, so it's basically 2.1 millimeters all the way down. There's not a whole lot of distal taper, but it's got a fairly generous grind because it's a fairly tall knife. And so you actually get a tip that's pretty darn thin, and this tip really does well on things like onions and soft product and detail work. So very high performance knife. The blade height is about 47 millimeters. So it's got a little bit of height to it. Handle type is nothing fancy. It's a black pack-a-wood handle. Nice fit and finish. Everything is really smooth on it. It has a little bit of relief on the spine. The choil, it's not super sharp, but if it bothers you, you could touch that with some sandpaper and clean this thing up in probably under 15 minutes and, finish it off to your liking if you wish to do so. The general fit and finish is well done. So machine finish, vertical sanding marks. You've got a fairly generous edge on the right side of the blade and a little bit, it's probably more like a maybe 60-40, or should say 40-60 in terms of edge grind on it. I did find, I think if I recall right, that these might have steered a little bit for me, and that's pretty much based on that edge geometry. So like I said, it's probably more like a 60, possibly 70 on this side, 30 on that side. So you could bring it closer to the center line if it steered on you a little bit, and maybe grind it a little more on the left side of the blade to kind of bring that back to center. But nice looking knife. You've got some etched kanji on the right side of the blade. The left side of the blade, as you would be holding it, is plain. Sorry, I didn't mean to blind you there. You've got a bevel that flows from the tang right into the blade, so very nicely done. Balance point, it's going to be a little further back because of the handle style. So right about there is the balance point. And as I said, performance is very good. I don't know if you can catch that, but these things are really thin at the edge. Thin overall, and got a nice gradual taper on the grind, thin at the tip. They really perform well. I'm very, very impressed with the performance on these. Like I said, they'll kind of make you forget about the steel so much. Use this a little bit here and there on a variety of product. It did really well. Food release is not fantastic, but it's about par for this style of blade. But did well through root vegetables, great through onions, obviously softer things. Carrots it did well on. So here's your profile. It's a really good all-around Santoku profile. You'll see you've got a little bit of flat area towards the back, a little bit of back belly towards the heel so it doesn't slam into a dead stop. Fairly low tip, which is typical of a Santoku knife, but yet I can still get pretty high on that. So this knife will do a lot of things pretty well. Push-pull cuts, a little bit of low-medium rocking, guillotine and glides, a little bit of chopping towards the back. So it's just a really nice package. So Mark's done a great job getting these in and specifying the grind on these. And so again, thin at the edge, good value. If you're looking maybe to give somebody a knife or get somebody started, this might be a good possibility for them. So just a really cool knife. So this is the Yahiko AUS-8 or AUS-8 Santoku 180mm knife.